My name's Ethan, and I never imagined a simple text could feel like a knife sliding between the ribs. It happened on a Thursday evening, the kind that smells like leftover coffee and quiet regret. I was sitting in my truck outside the hardware store, scrolling through messages, when her name flashed across the screen. At my ex's. Deal with it or we're done. No emojis. No hesitation. Just that one sentence. And for a second, I swear I could hear my heartbeat in the silence. You see, Lauren wasn't always like this. When we met 3 years ago, she was soft-spoken, funny in a clumsy way, the kind of woman who said she believed in forever but giggled at cheesy rom-coms anyway. She worked in marketing, had a laugh that turned heads, and a confidence that could make a room feel smaller. And I loved that about her. Maybe too much. For months, things were perfect. Movie nights, lazy Sunday breakfasts, small notes on the fridge. But over time, small cracks started showing. She became distant, not angry, just detached. Conversations turned into quick updates, touches into formal gestures. And when I'd ask what was wrong, she'd shrug and say, "You're imagining things, Ethan." Maybe I was. Or maybe I wasn't ready to admit the truth. That she was already gone long before that text arrived. That week had already been tense. She'd started reconnecting with her ex, Adam, under the excuse of closure. I didn't like it, but I also didn't want to be the jealous boyfriend, so I tried to trust her. Trust, it's a funny thing. It's quiet when it exists, but loud when it breaks. The night before the text, she came home late. Her perfume lingered longer than usual. Her lipstick was slightly faded, and she avoided my eyes. When I asked where she'd been, she said, "Out with friends, don't start." That phrase, "don't start," had become her shield lately, a way to shut me down before I could even open my mouth. So the next day, when that message came through, I didn't get angry. I didn't call. I didn't drive to her ex's house. I just looked at the words, "Deal with it or we're done," and felt this strange calm settle in. Because sometimes clarity doesn't come with a scream. Comes with silence. I typed back, "We're already done." Hit send. And sat there for a minute, watching the little delivered checkmark appear. No typing bubble. No response. Just nothing. The kind of nothing that fills your chest and presses on your ribs. I started driving aimlessly at first. Past the gas station where we used to stop for coffee. Past the park where she once told me I made her feel safe. And I wondered how something that felt so real could die so quietly. My phone buzzed again an hour later. Her name. "Ethan, don't be dramatic. We just need space." I didn't reply, because when someone gives you an ultimatum that cruel, it's not about space, it's about control. She wanted me to beg, to chase, to prove my worth. But I'd learned something in the last few months. Love that demands humiliation isn't love at all. That night, I packed a small bag. Not because I planned to leave, but because I knew I couldn't stay the same. I deleted her photos, scrolled through old messages, and noticed how often I'd said, "I'm sorry," for things that weren't even my fault. Apologies had become my love language. Hers was indifference. Funny thing, I didn't cry. I thought I would, but there was nothing left to cry about. She hadn't broken my heart that day. She just confirmed what I already knew. That I'd been trying to resuscitate something that had died months ago. Around midnight, I lay on my couch, staring at the ceiling fan, and replayed the last few weeks. The cold tone, the distant eyes, the excuses that sounded like rehearsed lines. And I realized something I wish I'd known sooner. Sometimes, people don't betray you suddenly. They just stop choosing you a little more each day until you're standing in an empty room, wondering when love turned into tolerance. And that's when I smiled, just a little, because for the first time I wasn't afraid of losing her. I was relieved that she'd finally set me free. The next morning, sunlight crept through the blinds like nothing had happened. It's strange how ordinary mornings can follow extraordinary endings. The world doesn't pause for heartbreak. The coffee still brews, traffic still hums, people still laugh outside your window. I sat at the kitchen table, staring at the mug Lauren had bought me last Christmas. Best guy ever. It used to make me smile. Now it just looked like a participation trophy from a game I didn't even know I was losing. Her number popped up again around 9 a.m. "Can we talk?" I didn't answer. Not because I wanted to be cold, but because I was tired of conversations that only existed to fix the symptoms, never the cause. We talked ourselves in circles too many times, and every time ended with her walking away first. By noon, she was at my door. Her knock wasn't angry. It was hesitant, the kind of knock people use when they're not sure if they're welcome anymore. I opened the door but didn't say a word. She stood there in jeans and a gray hoodie, no makeup, eyes swollen from crying. For a moment, I almost forgot how much she'd hurt me. "Ethan, please," she said softly. "I didn't mean it. I just wanted to make you jealous." That sentence hit harder than the text did. Because jealousy is what people reach for when love has already failed. It's the last thread they pull on, hoping something still holds. I took a step back and shook my head. "Lauren, that's not jealousy. That's cruelty. And I'm done pretending it's something else." Her lips trembled. "I messed up, I know. But we can fix this. I'll block him. I'll delete his number." "Don't," I interrupted. "You don't fix betrayal by deleting the evidence. You fix it by not doing it in the first place." Silence. For the first time, she didn't have a comeback. And I realized that all those arguments, all those emotional tug-of-wars, they weren't about love. They were about control, validation, and fear of being alone. She looked around my apartment, at the half-empty closet and the missing photos on the wall. "You already started moving on?" she whispered. I nodded. "You made it easy." That broke her. Tears started rolling down her cheeks, the kind that make your chest tighten even when you don't want to feel anything anymore. She whispered, "You used to love me so much." "I did," I said quietly. "But love doesn't survive disrespect. It suffocates under it." She stood there for another minute, then turned around and left. No dramatic goodbye, no slamming door, just quiet footsteps fading down the hall. And somehow, that silence felt louder than any fight we'd ever had. That night, I didn't replay the good memories. I used to do that, torture myself with nostalgia. But this time, I focused on the moments I'd ignored. The constant eye rolls, the late replies, the dismissive "you're overreacting." I realized love isn't measured by how long you hold on. It's measured by how much of yourself you lose before you finally let go. Over the next few days, I started feeling something unfamiliar: peace. I went to work, grabbed dinner with friends, slept without checking my phone every few minutes. It's amazing how light life feels when you stop carrying someone who never wanted to be held. A week later, she sent one last message. "I hope you're happy without me." I stared at it for a moment and typed back, "I'm not happy without you. I'm just finally happy again." Then I blocked her number, not out of anger, but closure. Some doors aren't meant to stay open, no matter how familiar the handle feels. Months have passed since then. Sometimes I still see her posts online. Pictures of brunches, vacations, smiles that look a little too practiced. And every time, I feel a strange mix of sadness and gratitude. Sadness for what we lost. Gratitude for what I learned. Because she taught me the difference between love and attachment. Love gives, attachment demands. Love nurtures, attachment controls. Love says, "I choose you." Attachment says, "You better choose me." Now when I think of her, I don't feel anger anymore. Just a quiet acceptance that not everyone you lose is a tragedy. Some are lessons wrapped in heartbreak. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can say to someone who breaks you is exactly what I said that night. We're already done. Not out of bitterness, not out of pride, but because letting go isn't weakness. It's the moment you remember who you were before you started begging to be seen.